Part 2. Settling in. It's been months since the Flynn family found themselves on this island. Months since Charles's parents died and Ishta had to take him under his wing. Teach him the ways of the land, such as foraging the edible plant life and how to track, hunt, and capture wildlife while still showing respect to nature and to the creator by using every part of what you take. Like when you hunt, you make the bones into eating utensils or needles to mend cloths you create from their leather. Even when you gather plants, you can make rope from the plant fiber by breaking it apart and entwining it into itself. Nothing use. Ishtar taught Charles that the creator is everyone and everything, for he created this world with himself so that he could learn and better understand the mysteries of the divine, something we, as we currently are, couldn't fathom. Only when we are one with all will we understand. Ishtar would say. It was slow teaching, mainly because of the language barrier. Charles only spoke English and Ishta only knew his native language, but given time they learned to communicate, starting with gestures and crude drawings in the sand and later advancing to simple words like water, food, and such. As time went on, both of their vocabulary grew, slowly learning each other's language. It took Charles a few months, maybe a year, but he noticed signs of other humans on the island. Ishta refused to talk about it, always making a strange gesture with his hand, running his thumb over his pinky. Charles learned it meant some kind of insult, something similar to his father showing his middle finger to tax collectors, but his father would add more insults. As time went on, they both learned more of each other's language and culture, more so Charles than Ishta, because he couldn't remember much from before the wreck, just small things like how his mother would sing songs while doing housework or his father doing manual labor, usually on his uncle's farm. While he didn't remember much, he did recall his uncle was a well-off man but didn't believe in handouts. He let them live on the land in exchange for them helping out with what they could till he got sick and died. A few months before he passed, he got married, and she didn't let his parents stay. Charles never figured out why. While Ishta was still tight-lipped about the other natives, Charles learned that Ishta was some kind of outcast, shunned from the others because they thought he was mad. But he would never elaborate on why they thought this. Instead, he changed the subject by showing Charles some new trick, like throwing strange powders from rocks he'd break open into fire to change its color or size of the flame, or what plants you could best use to make paint, or how to use animal hair as a paintbrush. He believed horse was best, which would always distract Charles while he was still young, and never questioned Ishta on it until he was older. For now, he enjoyed the tricks. As time went on and Charles grew, so did his curiosity. He learned about making fires and skinning wild boar and other animals, tanning their hides for clothes, and the proper way of butchering and cooking them. He wanted to know more about the people on the island despite Ishta's warnings. When he was about 13 years old, Ishta was finally ready to tell a bit more about them, saying, "Their ways are not like ours. They don't tolerate any weakness, not even that of a child. If they were the ones that found you instead of me, they wouldn't hesitate taking everything you had and throwing you back into the ocean, saying you and your parents are bad omens." But Charles didn't listen. He wanted to see them for himself, and that's exactly what he set out to do one night after Ishta went to sleep after drinking too much of fermented juice made from fruit. Ishta would only share a few sips with Charles, which most nights he hated, not because of the taste but because Charles would always say he can drink more, but Ishta would just laugh and say, "When you're older." But not tonight, because now he can finally sneak out and see exactly who these other mysterious natives are.